Hello everyone, how is it going? Phoenix61 here. Tonight, your host for some Legends shenanigans. We are in the Michelangelo. I have two games to highlight here because, well, someone had crossplay turned off in this match that I got into here, so we ended up with a small 4 versus 4 game. I know most people dislike this, but we do some crushing here, so I was like, alright, I'm going to save this game. So I cut off the intro as we, sailed towards the sea cap here, and then we've got a Kronstadt that pushed up and is giving us a decent crossfire here. So I am trying to go with the full AP rounds instead of the semi-auto piercing rounds, since we've got this broadside shot on him. And then I'm not even bothering with like dropping smoke or anything yet since no one's shooting at me, so I'm just saving it until we need it, right? I'm letting my teammates do the spotting. I mean, we're spotting him too technically here, but yeah, we'll just keep taking the shots while we can. There we finally do get 3 pens and 2 overpens for a decent chunk of damage. But yeah, we're going to be able to cap this zone, and then start pushing up and being a little bit more aggressive and just kind of leave this zone behind us because nobody else spawned over there. So we do lose one of our ships early on here, so we technically are at a little bit of a disadvantage here. I did switch to the SAPs just to see if they did a little bit better. You guys know me, I'm like kind of bad with when it comes to like, this is the thickness of that ship's armor, and so you should use these right? Like, so I'm an experimenter, right? Not gonna lie. Whatever is working for me, right? So yeah, we tried the SAP rounds here, and then we do have the long-range secondaries on this build, I think 9.9 kilometer range, that are also SAP rounds. So this is a fun ship to have a Commander Geist on, because then, we've got these purple shell tracers for all these secondary battery shots here too. And then I'm pushing up towards the battleship that was coming around the corner here. A little bit of an aggressive move, right? But I see him shooting at our other cruiser, and a Pomeranian B, I believe they have torpedoes as well, but so do we. So we'll be smart and hang on to our damage con. He can't shoot him at us just yet, so I'm going to try and get myself turned so that he doesn't have like the best torpedo angle shot here. And then if we can move away, and we'll get 1 torpedo hit on him there, which is going to trigger the flood. He does use his damage con to put that out right away. But yeah, like here I'm saying, he's probably trying to get himself angled enough to send torpedoes at us if he's got them available, right? We all know some of those ships you lose your torpedo launchers pretty easily too, right? But yeah, we get a nice couple more torpedo hits there, and that's ruined the vast majority of his health. And so we'll let secondaries do a little bit of work here, and then hopefully our cruiser buddy comes in and the defense finishes him off. We did get put with some legendaries in here, right? So we send a thank you to him, and we're up to 130,000 damage fairly early on in this game with only 4 ships to shoot at. So that typically sometimes that's a good game when there's 9 on 9, right? But it's all relative, I suppose. So we'll circle back around and head for the B cap and then see what shows up on that side. And again, we are 2 on 2, and they have a battleship left versus our 2 cruisers. So I don't know, I think you could say they have a little bit of an advantage going into this here, so we'll have to play this smart. Battleships are typically, if you think about the rock, paper, scissors sort of mentality of the game, right? Battleships are better at taking out cruisers. Cruisers are better at taking out destroyers. Destroyers are best for going and hunting battleships, right? So we have, them having a battleship and a Yamato, right? It was a little bit, intimidating here with the tier 8 Michelangelo, right? But we are going to use our ship's strengths and avoid its weaknesses, right? So we will try and not go too broadside to a Yamato. We'll push up, and if we need to, we can use our smoke screen, right? With him being a battleship, he's going to have a pretty terrible firing through smoke, getting spotted penalty, whatever you want to call it, right? So we could potentially push up, and if he comes around the corner, we could potentially have our smoke screen going and just kind of chip away at him with our secondary batteries, right? So we will trigger the booster as he comes within secondary battery range here. And if he's going to fire at my friendly, if he's going to fire at my ally, I'll hold off on using the smoke here. Defense also has a kind of a very bad smoke firing penalty, right? So, but he looked like he was looking at us. Defense had some torpedoes on the way to them as well. We sent ours. We get high caliber there. And then, yeah, we're not spotted, right? Because we're, you know, within secondary range and we've got the rolling smoke. So just taking full advantage of the perks of the ship. And at this point, you know, for the time being, it feels like cheating. Defense finishes off the Alaska. We're going to get at least one torpedo hit on the Yamato, so I'll take a main battery shot there to whittle him down, and then the secondaries finish him off. And as you can see, he was hitting us with his main batteries there as we were kind of broadside, and he was about to do a pretty big, hefty chunk of damage to us, but like I said, it didn't matter anymore. He was going to be dead. So we walk away with the win there. 192,000 damage dealt in a 4-on-4 game. I thought was pretty cool, so I put that one out there. But this is going to be the main feature for tonight, another Michelangelo game. It is becoming my, you know, you guys know me. I try to play a little bit of everything, but I've got my sort of my favorites and my hates, right, when it comes to ships I love and ships I don't like. But I do try to play a little bit of everything, and I think I've been Michelangelo, at least as of lately, has been a go-to for me for tier 8 premiums, right? If I'm working through my premium supply missions. The secondaries are just so much fun to play around with. So, and I am using a battleship commander on here, right? So you could go the route of, you know, using a cruiser commander, and then that way you could potentially have like fully packed and get an extra heal and an extra smoke. I don't always find myself going through all, you get 4 of the secondary battery boosters, right? I don't always find myself going through all of those, so that's not as big of a deal to have more of those. But yeah, we're sitting here in smoke again, taking advantage of the fact that we can go unspotted within the rolling smoke and then just let the secondaries kind of do their thing. And then, of course, you know, it's short duration, right? So it's not going to last forever. So we'll start moving away defensively because we know we're going to get shot at once we get spotted again here. But yeah, that cruiser, that Japanese cruiser, is still within range. So the secondaries on the back of the boat are still firing at him. And then this main across the way doesn't see us right away, but he looks like he was going to have his guns pointing this way. So we're going to have to angle away from him if he's going to fire at us. Seattle's taking a shot at us, but, you know, higher flying bullets take a hot minute to get here. There's some bullets from the main. And I think we got a little bit lucky there with either our angling helped us out or just RNGesus was on our side for that salvo there. But yeah, I'm going to try and get some attention away from us. We were kind of getting picked on there for the time being. So we moved away, we went unspotted. We'll circle back around and try and decide who we can pick on here. Fairly steady, even game at the moment, right? We've got zone A capped, but they went into B and captured that, so we'll have to be careful here. Mogami is probably what's spotting us, and it's unfortunate because now we're going to be, that main's going to take that shot at us. We can see the bullets coming there. So I'm trying to get turned away as those are on their way, but yeah, we take a little bit of a chunk there. Secondaries, again, get the Mogami or whatever that was, right, that cruiser. So we get first blood and the close quarters medal there. Amagi, we're going to have a decent shot at him with the main battery guns. Good little chunk there, even though it really technically was only 2 bullets penetrating. But for 5,000 and some damage, we'll take it. See if we can't get another hit. I'm going to slow down here because we're going to go undetected as we as our guns reload here, just to try and keep him in range. But I'm not sure if those bullets are going to make it or not, but we'll see. We'll start getting ourselves turned back around. I feel a little out of play at this point, but we are up a ship, so we aren't desperate, right? You get that situation where like you're down ships and you find yourself out in the backfield, like, right, it's potentially your fault that that your team is losing, right? So I'm always like try to catch myself from doing that too much. So we'll turn back around, see if we can get ourselves back into the fight. Amagi or whatever, that Japanese battleship on the outside flank. I wasn't quite expecting him to turn away, right? So because he did that, now we're kind of further away from people. But we'll almost always take a shot at a destroyer, even though he's far out, just to try and help get rid of destroyers. The only good destroyer is a dead destroyer, unless you are that destroyer, right? Wonder if I could still hit that summoner if he's going to stay spotted. I was kind of thinking that these other guys, there's a Seattle in here too. Can I hit him? He's on the other side of the B cap. Says we can hit him, I'm going to try and shoot him. Main is over there as well. We don't have the best main battery range for a tier 8, right? And most of that is just because we've done a secondary battery build on here, so we've tried to buff the secondaries as much as possible, and that's going to make your main battery suffer, right? But yeah, I seem to be drawn towards the unique ships. I know some of you that frequently watch my channel, we've seen some Michelangelo videos before, but these main battery turrets that are in the middle, right, they can't fire directly forward or backwards because some of the superstructure stacks or whatever you want to call them are in the way, so you have to give up some broadside angle in order to fire the main battery guns. But the secondaries kind of are your the balancing factor there, right? Can't quite hit that Seattle anymore, so we see the little island symbol off to the bottom right of our aiming reticle. That's what that means. So typically when you see that, you're gonna hit the land instead of the ship. We will keep pushing up, trying to be a little bit more aggressive. We've got 2 battleships out in front of us, right? And we get a little bit lucky there with finishing off that summoner with the secondary, so that worked out for us. That's kind of nice. And then, yeah, we've got this island between us and this Brandenburg, so we will take advantage of being unspotted here and see if we can't get some main batteries. Main battery shots off on him. And then we do still have 1 rolling smoke left for if we need it here. But I'm going to guess he's going to focus fire on the battleship that's closer to him, so I'm going to hold off on using it just yet. We'll stay angled just enough. Brandenburg's not too much of a threat when it comes to his main batteries against us, so we'll see if we can't get our guns on target. It does kind of look like he's looking at us, though. I'm going to fire a little bit out to the right of where that suggested line was. We're keeping an eye on the main because he's got an angle on us. But yeah, I didn't want to fire into these, fire those torpedoes into the sinking ship, right? Just because you'd hit the sinking ship and then they'd be wasted. So I took a shot to the right of it, and we'll see, depending on which way the Brandenburg turns, if we get any luck there. But he is close enough. I think my smoke firing penalty range is like 7.3 or 7.4. So if we were to fire the main battery guns, we would be spotted. So I'm just taking advantage of the fact that we're not spotted. We've got the rolling smoke going for a little bit more here, and we'll see how much we can whittle him down. And then, yeah, and the Iowa on our team finishes him off. So that worked out perfectly for us. I think it was the smart move to just hold off on firing the main guns. I mean, we could have potentially gotten the kill there if we had played it a little bit different. But, right, I was making for once I was playing smart and doing the safe thing, right? So we'll push up towards the enemies. I didn't want to go towards the D zone capture, right? You can see we are down the zones now, right? They've got 3 to R1. Because I kind of figured that with the D cap that our battleship might push through it. So I was kind of hoping that he would pick that up. But we are up 1 ship now, right? And then this Georgia, I feel like, is being a little bit aggressive, pushing through to our half of the map. It is a little bit later in the game, right? We are over halfway through, and usually that's but it just kind of feels like there's a lot of our ships over there, and it's kind of a little bit of too much of a push for him to be coming up that far. But we get another fisted medal, right? An assist there, or banner, whatever you call them. And then I'm gonna try and move to the right to stay out of line of sight of this main as long as I can, and it looks like he's slowing down, right? So I'm gonna fire as close to the island as I can get with the torpedoes, and then we'll keep going the opposite direction of him to try and just remain unspotted here. I'd rather be a little bit closer to him and maybe get a little bit sneaky and hopefully get him with torpedoes. We'll see how it goes, right? This is a little bit of an aggressive move at this point. And then, yeah, Seattle is coming around this way. We'll be able to get our main guns on him and probably secondaries as well because he is in range. We just need line of sight. So we'll keep pushing up here. He probably is paying attention to somebody else, so not suspecting us would be my guess. But we'll take the shot, and then secondaries are going to start firing. We'll trigger the secondary booster. And then, yeah, like I said, he didn't shoot. He's not shooting at us, at least not yet. And then I'm like, okay, we're probably going to finish him off. Like, the secondaries are doing really, really great on him. So I didn't fire the torps. I figured I'd save them for the main. Main looks like he's pushing up a little bit. I'm going to get a cheeky shot here and then turn in towards him so that he doesn't have a broadside shot on our hull. And then we'll try and let the secondaries do some work on him as well. And hopefully we get some torp hits, right? And yep, the torps finish him off. So that pops Confederate and high caliber for us. And then a hunting we will go to try and get a Kraken out of this, because that was kill number 4. So that's so far only one kill that we didn't really participate in, right? We've got 4 kills and then 2 assists. So Pizarski, he's going to drop his smoke, but the problem there is there's nobody else spotting us for him. So while he's safe, he doesn't have, we're not spotted, so he's not going to be able to shoot us anyway. So I'm just going to push directly at his smoke screen. We do have to worry he does have torpedoes, right? And he has sonar as well. So he would fare a little bit better against, getting some early warning if we shoot torpedoes at him, but there's no sense in not shooting them, right? So I'm going to move up just a little bit. I'm looking at the mini map and the sort of the hammerlock circle, or the range circle for the torps before I fired those, just to try and make sure it looked like he was at least in range. But yeah, his torps are only 6 kilometer range, right? So we just saw some die out before we even got to him. But yeah, trying to be unpredictable by not going directly at him is also a smart choice. And then he does have short duration smokescreen, right? So I was kind of expecting it to run out before we got there anyway. So I had my ship angled just enough so that we could get a main battery shot off on him. And then we'll turn back in towards him so that he doesn't have a nice juicy broadside shot against our hull. And then secondaries are going to do their work, and then we're going to use our last reload booster for the secondary batteries here. So that's putting us up. We are over 150,000 in damage now with the 4 kills. Can we make the Kraken here? Yes, we can. So there is our Kraken. Now, the rest of this game is going to be Sailing Simulator because that last destroyer, so we'll fast forward because that last destroyer ends up just kind of, playing cat and mouse, right? It's sending torps at that cruiser on our team, right? So we'll fast forward. I figured I'd head towards the A cap if he was going to be, a little twerp and not get spotted at all, right? Like maybe I could at least help get credit for capping the A zone here. But we just barely don't make it in time to help get the assist on the capture there. And then we end up winning on points with the 1,000 points. So we will go through the leaderboard here really quick, and then I will also go through my commander and ship build for you as well, if you're interested in that. But yes, quite a few medals for us there. And then somehow we still didn't get the top spot on the leaderboard, even with that Kraken. And then walks away with 300,000 in silver. So pretty decent haul for a tier 8 premium, right? And we are using secondary battery mod for the first slot, propulsion in the second slot, concealment in the third slot, and then we are using a legendary mod for the last slot for the faster secondary battery reload. So that's every 30,000 damage we get another 5% reload speed. You could even go up to the legendary, but I just don't have enough steel for that, where you would get more damage from the secondaries as well. This is a free-to-play battleship commander, Paulo de Revel, right? So you don't need to spend any money to do this build, other than I do have You know, Franz von Hipper is a free-to-play commander, but I do have Azurlane Bismarck as my other inspiration. But there are other good choices out there that are free-to-play. I think there's a German battleship guy that's faster secondary reload, right? And the reload speed is actually slightly faster than what Azurlane Bismarck maxes out at. So, but yeah, you get main battery reload time with his base trait. I went with this perk here in the first row to reduce fires, but you could go, you know, reload there. But I think that's specific to battleships, so you might want to pick the fire nerf one there too, right? But Porcupine, that's giving us the range. On second thought would be, you know, better reload time, but I went Firefighter. This ship is, I feel like the Michelangelo is difficult to light on fire, so maybe it'd be better to go the other way. But I pick Properly Meticulous to give our secondary battery the better perks and the more survivability here. I know some people prefer the Master Mechanic to get the extra heal. I just like having the secondaries. You know, those turrets last longer, you know, don't get destroyed. And you could pick Fight Fire with Fire, but like I said, I feel like this ship just doesn't, you know, I don't get fire spam too much in this one. And then, you know, running with Scissors, I wouldn't use that. I think most of the perks there are specific to Battleship, so it would be kind of a wasted perk. So I was using Will to Rebuild. It is, you know, on occasion it comes in handy, right? Especially, it's a little more difficult to do if you're not, you know, in a division, but you get that healing if your health is below 20% and you're close to an ally, right? So kind of nice, you know it's there and you're low on health, you can go kind of seek refuge with an ally and then last a little bit longer. But yeah, so that's my rationale anyway, my thoughts and feelings. But thanks for watching my video all the way through, guys. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. That helps me out more than you know. I am still pretty small of a channel, so even one new subscriber is helpful to me. Plus, we do Legends videos just about every day, so we'll see you guys tomorrow.